I want to write a D&D campaign, but just play it by myself and DM myself. I have been informed that this is called writing a book. Indiana Jones more like Fedora the Explorer. I'm deleting. I love my mother dearly, but ability wise she frightens me BC. Not only can she find 24 leaf clovers within the span of like 2 minutes everywhere, she can also write her name with both nads on a dry erase board or W/E at the exact same time, and have both be a mirror image of one another. To add to this, I was making breakfast this morning and I hear "Hey Milo, look who came to say hello," and, expecting like a moth or a frog or something of that nature, I turn and she's holding a snake. Yeah, Ma's a witch, be nice to her. Hey Ohio followers, I'm sorry, I just rode through your whole state in 4 hours and saw like 3 buildings. Hey Op, where did you see the buildings? Where are the buildings Op? Op, I'm in this soybean field right now, would very much appreciate a location for the buildings. Spiders in the tub, spiders in the tub, come on now, spiders in the tub, spiders in the tub. I can only assume this is meant to be chanted to the rhythm of Uptown Funk You Up, Uptown Funk You Up, but I cannot being to speculate as to why. Stop, wait a minute, why my tub got these spiders in it? What's that? It's hideous. Well, that's not very nice. It's just a donkey. Shrek is the god of self-confidence. Woke up mid-flight, made this note, immediately went back to sleep. Begone you fold demon Cotton-eyed Joe, thy grasp on this plane faded long ago, from whence you came, there you shall go, I seal thee away, Cotton-eyed Joe. Man, what would happen if we took every criminal and threw them on a continent and just let them have it for like 50 years? What will they even say when we came back? Probably Daj mate. My first attempt at a creepypasta, beginner here, go easy on me. Carpeted kitchen. Welcome to my blog. The sign looks like it's walking towards me. I feel threatened. I can't express how much I hate fking bees. Then sot fking bees. It's really a simple solution. You know what I meant. Not after B movie we don't. One of my favorite threats is you're not invited to my birthday party anymore. From ages 4 to 11 it's one of the most teenest things you can say. Then 12 through 17 it's just embarrassing cause teens think that that's a childish thing to say. But from 18 onward, it only gets more and more effective. If only because it confuses the person you're speaking to. It's like a verbal smoke bomb. It catches them off guard and disorients them to the point that they might not even know how to react. Street smarts. Welcome to mi casa. That's French for front door. It's really not. I didn't understand the joke until I learned honey was Latina. That sentence makes me feel sad because she's really not portrayed as Latina. Would you prefer her to wear a sombrero and blast Tigers del Norte from an old pickup truck? Hey, does anybody want to see my collection of slightly distorted pictures of cats as viewed through glasses? Too late, I've decided for you that you do. I never should taught my parrot how to laugh, it's given him far too much power. Do you know how embarrassing it is to have a pet that can laugh at you? I dropped my ice cream and wailed in despair and my parrot zoomed out of nowhere just so he could stand on the couch and laugh at me. I'm being called a dumb in my own home by my own son. You run a tattoo parlor. Every couple of weeks, the same customer comes in, always requesting the same tattoo, an additional tally mark on an ever-growing cluster of tally marks. What are you counting? How many tattoos I've gotten? I'm no longer serving you. You've always been able to teleport since the day you were born, with one exception. All eyes have to be turned away from you for you to do it. One day as you lay in bed in the privacy of your own home, you try to teleport, but discover that you cannot. You cannot fast travel when there are enemies nearby. Creationist Ken Ham says aliens will go to hell, so let's stop looking for them. Pope Francis says he will baptize aliens. The doors of the Catholic Church are open to everyone. I smell trouble brewing. The Pope is just so chill, I love it. Catholic Church is open to everyone. Modern Popo for the modern world. Japanese is a kind language BC. If you forget how to write a kanji it will hold your hand and say it is okay. You can still write in hiragana and everyone will understand. If you forget one character in Chinese you suddenly illiterate and there is no way to help you. You mispronounce one thing and suddenly your mother is a horse. Me getting under the covers, I'm in. Sometimes I wish I was Loki, so I'd make everyone just kneel. Interviewer, you don't have to be Loki to make me kneel. Top. Oh. I love how it took him a moment. At my wedding, you'll be able to come alone. Bring a +1 or choose a -1 where you can uninvite one person of your choosing. No questions asked. Power move, uninvite the groom. I have a lot of pet peeves, but I think the biggest one is when people say things like, oh, it's such a small town. Only 35,000 people, like TCH my town has 200 people. You need to pick a new adjective. According to Wikipedia, a small town is 1,000 to 20,000 people. So although you are correct in stating that 35,000 people is not a small town, it is a large town, you are incorrect in thinking that you live in a town. You live in a village. You are a villager. I don't know what to do with that information. A villager. A kid at my school has a Panini maker, so he sells Paninis to other students and everyone called him the Panini man. But the campus police people shut him down because it's not legal to sell food if it's not a bake sale or W/E. So now he's the paper towel man, and he sells paper towels, but with each paper towel purchase, you get a free Panini. Improvise, adapt, overcome. 100 to 200 years ago, people ate organic unprocessed food and didn't have vaccines and lived to the ripe old age of died in childbirth. My favorite thing I've learned in college is that way back in ancient China there was this poet philosopher guy who wrote this whole pretentious poem about how enlightened he was that was like the 8 winds cannot move me blah blah blah. And he was really proud of it, so he sent it to his friend who lived across the lake, and then his friend sends it back and just writes fart, or the ancient Chinese equivalent on it, and he was so mad. He travels across the lake to chew his friend out, and when he gets there his friend says, wow, the 8 winds cannot move you, but one fart sends you across the lake. Do you ever get so frustrated with the video game that you are no longer rational and you start literally jumping into pits because maybe that's the fucking solution to this Shiver Dungeon puzzle? You can't spell advertisements without semen between the tits. What in the F did I just read? Not all heroes wear capes. If a cat or dog is eating vegan meals, they're doing it out of their own free will. Just saying. Give a god a piece of tofu turkey and they eat it. I didn't force them to eat it. So, give a dog antifreeze and they'll eat it. Feed a dog rat poison and they'll eat it. Give a dog grapes, butts, chocolate, beer, etc. They'll eat it. They don't know that it's dangerous for them. As their caretaker you are responsible for knowing better, not them. If you deprive your cats or dogs of meat, especially cats, you are actively killing your companion in the slowest way. I once adopted a kitten who was being systematically starved by his perverse human who insisted in feeding him vegan food. He was so excited when he got meat-based cat food from us that he gorged himself until he puked. He was left with digestive tract issues for years because of his previous human's neglect. Do not do this. I don't care what you believe in personally. Cats are carnivores, not omnivores. Depriving them from meat is cruel and animal abuse. Make your own foot scrub. 1 feet are pretty hard to make. 2 don't call me a scrub ever again. Please stop making me read this. When my parrot wants pets or someone he'll go up them, say hello, and lower his head to expose his neck. Recently, however, he's been doing this to a pitch black crevice behind the couch, even trying to cajole the darkness with kissy noises, and getting sad when the void won't pet him. How do I explain that dark chasms are not friends? There's a ghost in there. A damn rude one. To pet the bird. Do I date tall people just so they can always see me from my best angle? Or is that just a bonus for them? I don't know. How tall are you? Cause that'll tell you why you date tall people. I'm 5 feet 2. You date tall people cause everyone is taller than you. If a professor brags about how hard it is to pass their class then drop the class, they should not be proud of being bad at conveying information to students. You're not paying thousands of dollars to fail. Find a professor that wants you to pass. As a college instructor I approve this message. Since What Are Those exists in the Marvel universe, it's safe to assume that Vine does as well. The It Is Wednesday My Dude's Vine was posted in 2015, and Civil War was released in 2016. So it can be argued that the Vine has an entirely new layer of comedy in the Marvel universe, as Spider-Man didn't exist when the Vine was posted. And the man in the Vine is just wearing a bizarre costume with no cultural meaning or reference. It can be concluded that Peter Parker designed his costume based off the "It Is Wednesday My Dudes" guy. In this essay I need everyone to witness what I witnessed at the zoo today. When Spider-Man and Ant-Man meet in Avengers 4. Ant-Man, do you like control spiders? Peter Parker chuckles and decides to reply with a snarky comeback. Do you like control ants? Ant-Man, yes. Peter Parker is now caught off guard. I'm gonna have to block one of you. Who's it gonna be? Any volunteers? Can you seriously grow up? Thanks. I just watched an old couple get into their car and set off the alarm, and then try to turn it off for like 10 minutes before giving up and driving away with the alarm still going off. Now that I think about it, maybe I just watched an old couple steal a car. Let's say your matrilineal line is fairly consistent and everyone has their daughter at 25. So 4 women in your matrilineal line are born every 100 years. In 1,000 years, that's only 40 women. Like, the math is so simple and yet you don't think about it. So in 2,000 years, 80 women. So basically 0 had started roughly about 80 mothers ago. That's it. I'm a little drunk and cannot deal with this right now. Yep. The advent of agriculture around 9500 BC was about 450 mothers ago. You can't just say sh like that without a warning. French recipes. If you're not making this in Paris, then what's the point? Italian recipes. Use the left leg meat of a pig from one of 3 farms in this specific area of Tuscany, or from this day my grandmother will begin manifesting physically in your house. American recipes. Buy these 3 cans of stuff and put them in a pan. Congrats, you cooked. Chinese recipes, as handed down from mother to child. Season it with a pinch of this and some of that. You want to know the exact amount. Feel it in your heart. Ask the stars. Yell into the void. English recipes. Boil and salt it. Okay, that's it, enjoy. Australian recipes. Just f***ing put the sprinkles on HTE bread. Holy shfucks gourmet cuisine right there. Holy FC. I have 15 years worth of outstanding library finds in 3 separate cities, and it's my hope that eventually a bounty hunter librarian will come to collect and we'll get in a bar fight and fall in love. I also can't rent movies in 2 different towns, so there's that. As a person I think this is funny, but as a librarian this really annoys me. I'm newly terrified by the implication that librarians aren't people and I've misjudged what exactly I'm up against. I'm watching B movie for the first time. I'm 1 minute and 30 seconds in. 8. So this main character is supposed to be a Ramble bee, but he uses a pencil sharpener to sharpen his stringer. But male bees don't have stingers? He got a mom and dad, but the queen's supposed to be the only one procreating, so what is the truth? 8. So there's a whole society of bees that feel obligated to walk and drive instead of fly. He just became disillusioned with the capitalist system. It's about to be some You'd figure this movie would have more woman characters, considering as how female bees are the ones who do all the work, but okay. I know too much about bees to watch this movie. A soulmate is a person that won't complain about any of my music when I put my iPod on shuffle. I complain about my own music when it's on shuffle. What are you talking about? The cha-cha slide in Full Metal Armor. Slide to the left. Indescribably loud screeching of metal against asphalt. 1 hop this time. Clunk. 2 hops this time. Clunk clunk. Everybody clap your hands. Clank 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 clank. F***ing pay us maybe. Do millennials even eat food? Contradictory dudes claim they're shopping for fewer groceries, but also dining out less. This is such a weird way of phrasing millennials go hungry because of financial crisis we caused. Why then do they not eat cake? When I was younger I had a really bad fear of Danny DeVito when I was going to sleep, so my older brother gave me a watch that he set to like 8 hours ahead, so that it was always daytime on the watch when I was asleep, and he told me it would confuse Danny DeVito and he would think it was daytime and get scared of the sun and leave me alone. Your brother is the best. Who the F changed this from vampires to Danny DeVito? The real question is why I was completely ready to accept that this person had a debilitating childhood fear of Danny DeVito. Dear millennials, I'm 45 years old, and I can assure you confidently that back in my day we did not all chat merrily with our seatmates on the bus. People on public transport were as tired and obnoxious back then as they are today, and I wish I could been texting my friends on the way to work in 1990, and I wolder if I colder. Instead we listened to non-rechargeable battery-powered Walkmans and read the newspaper, and pretended we didn't notice the guy next to us learning in all-night train burps and tobacco teeth to ask for $1. And unlike you, we didn't have a way to call the cops if he followed us off the bus. What I'm saying is the mobile phone is a beautiful thing, and people who whine about you suing it in public are just losers who want attention. Godspeed. I knew it.